This week on the RV podcast,
we are on the road again, and we share our 2025 RV travel plans and goals. Maybe you can get some ideas for your trips too.
And by popular demand, we're bringing back Mike and Jen's story time. This week, we're focusing on our trip to Plains, Georgia a while back, where we encountered Jimmy Carter as the nation celebrates the former president's 100-year life. We remember a sweet encounter with a very decent man.
All this, plus the social media buzz, the RV news of the week, and your questions coming up in episode 528 of the RV podcast. I'm Mike Wendland, and this is my lifelong traveling companion and my bride, Jennifer.
Aw.
We are so glad to have you guys with us because this is being released on January 1st, New Year's Day 2025. And we want to start out by wishing you guys a very happy new year.
And we're also very excited because our RVcommunity.com is now a private, ad-free online haven for passionate RVers like you.
Big heads up and hats off. Heads up and hats off to our team who we've all been working on this thing since early fall. And as of today, RVcommunity.com is members only. Now, I want to point out that's just for the online community, you know, the forum that we have, the off Facebook, some people call it. But this podcast, our RV Lifestyle YouTube channel, our blog, our daily emails, Facebook page, Facebook group, all that other stuff, all of our social accounts will always be free and open to anyone.
But for an exclusive ad-free experience with the most passionate RVers around, the RVcommunity.com is a place to be. You can join now at least check it out at our RV community.
Now, there are so many perks and advantages that if we were to start mentioning them right now, we'd take up the entire podcast. So we're not going to do that, but please do check it out. Go to RVcommunity.com. We'd love to have you be a part of our great community there.
You know, there's something so exciting about a brand new year. 2025 is just like a fresh start. I can't wait to get going.
New possibilities, new places to go, people to meet, new experiences, adventures awaiting. We have been busy this past week. We've been prepping our RV for our first big trip of the year.
After a bunch of snowstorms in southwestern Michigan between Christmas and today, the weather has been abnormally warm for this time of year. So as we've cleaned and started to pack the RV up, it's been comfortable.
Now that snow is all melted, so Mike is not dragging it into the RV anymore as we go in and out of it. In fact, the inside of the RV has been really quite warm and pleasant. But wouldn't you know, as we get ready to hit the road next week, we have a winter blast headed our way with frigid temperatures returning along with snow and cold and pretty bad weather.
So we are watching the weather and hoping to avoid a repeat of what happened last year to us at this time of year when we had to get a heavy duty tow truck to help get the RV out of the snow in our front yard. We just sunk right down. You couldn't have believed it.
It was not a good thing.
We had snow. We had ground that
we had to get out because a blizzard was coming. And so the whole trip was just miserable. We did get out of the snow, but when we had rain and fog and well, anyway, the forecast is not looking good for this year.
AccuWeather meteorologists are saying that drastically colder air from the Arctic will invade the central, southern, and eastern states and could set up a stormy pattern with areas of substantial snow and ice for much of the first half of January.
Now, the severity of the cold air, AccuWeather is saying, could be dangerous, damaging, and disruptive to a lot of RVers who are on the roads this week and next week, heading to warmer states in the south and the southwest. As AccuWeather explains, the jet stream, which has generally been west to east, is going to develop a dip, a large southward buckle, they call it. And as this occurs, the doors to the Arctic are going to come blasting in.
So you're saying get out of town?
Yeah.
Get out of town as quick as you can?
Yeah.
Okay, so this big dip in the jet stream will evolve in stages next week and not in one sudden massive shift.
The first blasts of colder air will begin during the middle and latter parts of the week, and that's known as the Arctic Express, and it is about to kick into high gear during the first full week of January. Listen, it is predicted to unleash shifting bands of heavy lake effect snow that can hamper travel, increase the risks of multi-vehicle pileups, and even close some major highways at times. Get this, AccuWeather is saying, and we quote, multiple feet of snow. Multiple feet of snow may bury some communities where the bands of heaviest lake effect snow persist. And that is unquote.
So if you're like us and planning trips south from the plains, the Great Lakes region, Ohio Valley, or Northeast, keep a very close watch on the weather forecast and have a plan B in mind. Be safe. And if that means leaving earlier, staying out a few days, do so. Winter weather is nothing to mess with.
Okay. When we return, we'll share our travel plans and our goals for 2025. And we hope that we can give you some ideas for your travels too. This part of the podcast is brought to you by Keystone RV's Montana line of luxury fifth wheels. If you are serious about RVing, you've probably heard of the Montana, and there's a reason for that.
Montana isn't just an RV. It's the gold standard in luxury fifth wheels, representing over 25 years of quality, craftsmanship, and innovation, with features like stunning front living spaces, residential style kitchens, and durability tested. Montana is built to handle everything from epic cross-country trips to cozy winter retreats.
Now, we have owned a Montana high country model for the past 2 years now, and we love it. As we have hauled it all over North America, it has amazed us with the quality of its construction, the attention to detail. We call it our condo on wheels, and that's how comfortable it is.
When you own a Montana, you're not just buying an RV, you're stepping into a lifestyle where every mile feels like home.
So if you're ready to upgrade your journey, go visit KeystoneRV.com and discover why Montana continues to set the standard for RVers who never settle. And if you're going to be heading to the Florida RV Super Show in Tampa this month, come meet Jen and me at the Montana display, booth 770. We'll be doing meet and greets there at 1 p.m. Thursday and Friday, January 16th and 17th. And we'll be delighted to show you what makes the Montana the gold standard in luxury fifth wheels.
Now, the RV conversation of the week.
Well, it's a new year, and we are going to head on the road again. And in our conversation of the week, we want to share our 2025 dreams and goals. We were going to call this our New Year's resolutions, but we think goals is a better word.
I think so too. And our goals are taking the shape of New Year resolutions.
Sort of how we're going to change things up, or how we're going to fine tune the way we travel and the way we do the RV lifestyle. This is starting our 14th year. We deserve a round of applause for that. So let's start with our plans.
Our guiding light has been serendipity, taking things as they come. Those happy discoveries by going off the beaten path, following or, well, just flipping a coin, or whether we're going to go this way or that way.
Yeah. We don't plan to change that too much. That has been our style. And we have had so many wonderful, in fact, listen to the story of the week, our Mike and Jen's story time at the end of the podcast. That was a serendipity trip that we had. And you'll see why we love to go that way. But as we look to 2025, we are mapping it out. The way we do it is we have identified 5 major things and events we want to do. And we've built a whole calendar around that. And the first is next week. That is when we hit the road.
Yeah, traveling from Southwest Michigan to Tampa and the 2025 Florida RV Super Show. Now, instead of rushing this trip by covering the 1,122 miles, but who's counting, on 2 hard driving days as we used to, we're going to take it slow and easy if we can get through the snow.
Yeah, the snow doesn't come.
Sticking to our 330 rule of driving no more than 330 miles and stopping by 3:30 p.m.
That means 3, maybe 4 nights on the road to get to Tampa. We're going to spend a full week in Tampa, and all that show opens to the public January 15th, a Wednesday, and it runs through Sunday the 19th. We need to be there early. There are some industry events happening before it opens. And on Thursday and Friday, as we mentioned back a couple minutes ago, the 16th and 17th, we're going to be doing meet and greets there for our friends and followers from 1 to 2 p.m. From that Montana fifth wheel display, which is booth 770.
And then after the show, we plan to knock all around Florida and the Gulf Coast for a couple of months, visiting some of our favorite spots. And as spring comes, we're slowly heading back north, visiting Loblolly Ridge, our RV property in Tennessee.
Now, the second big event that we've locked into our travel calendar is in Nashville, Tennessee, and that will be April 22nd through the 26th. And this is our spring RV lifestyle, RV community camp out, gathering, and rally, where we're going to tour Music City, USA. We're going to visit the downtown honky tonk strip, the Country Music Hall of Fame. I get to wear my cowboy hat and my boots. And we'll attend a 100th anniversary performance of the Grand Ole Opry.
And now this event and all of our events are open only to members of our RVcommunity.com. Another good reason to join this private and ad-free online forum.
The Nashville trip is just opened up today for bookings by everybody, and it will likely sell out very quickly. So if you're thinking of that, make sure you're a member of the community and you won't miss it there. You can sign up. But if you do miss it, if it gets filled by the time you get around to it, which it will sell out, stay tuned, because we will announce signups for our summer RV community gathering rally very soon. And we can tell you where that's going to be and when it's going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be June 9th through the 13th. And that's the third major RV travel event of 2025 for us. And this one will be near the beautiful Sleeping Bear sand dunes and National Lakeshore in northwestern Michigan.
Now, if you've never seen that, it is arguably the most beautiful place in Michigan, many people say, and it is stunning. This rally will showcase what is just an awesome part of the Great Lakes region. We'll be camped smack dab in the middle of a region that is characterized by miles of uninterrupted sandy beaches and bluffs that tower 450 feet above Lake Michigan, lush forests, clear inland lakes, neat flora and fauna, and lots of sightseeing, recreational, and wildlife spotting opportunities.
And then for the rest of the summer, we'll follow serendipity, making spontaneous trips as we feel called to do. And we are intentionally keeping a big hunk of our summer free from schedules. That means unexpected adventures and new discoveries. And that is what we like the most about the RV lifestyle. In fact, our top resolution and goal for all of 2025 travels is to slow down and enjoy them, not to rush, to build margins to explore or stay put or not, have to be there, do this or do that, to go where we want. But in September, we have our fourth major trip.
Now, that is something we've wanted to do for a long time. And in 2025, thanks to Fantasy RV Caravan Tours, we're going to be traveling the entire length of the Mississippi River from its beginning up in northern Minnesota to where it empties the Gulf of Mexico south of New Orleans. And that will be from September 5th through October 8th. We did a Fantasy RV tour of the Canadian Maritimes last summer, and we enjoyed it. We enjoyed it so much. We made so many new great friends that we couldn't wait to sign up for this one in 2025.
We've long been fascinated by the history of the Mississippi River, and exploring this 2,000-mile-long river will expose us to different cultures, great music, and awesome food. We're not leading this group. It's all organized by Fantasy Tours. We're just going along for the tour like everyone else, and we are so looking forward to it.
Now, I didn't think I would like a caravan type tour, but the Maritimes really, that was so much fun.
It was so nice to have somebody else tell you turn left, turn right. Yeah. You're going to spend the night here and then spend the next night there.
And I think what I really liked about it was the friendships that we developed. Mm-hmm. We met a lot of people. They don't keep their groups too big. They're not overwhelming. So you get to know everybody in it. And, really by the second or third stop, we were like this with a lot of people, and it was really fun.
It really is incredible how when you have all that time and sharing the same experiences, how it really bonds you as an RV family.
All right. The fifth major trip on our 2025 RV schedule is our fall RV community gathering and rally. And we can give you the dates on that if you want to hold them, but the details are still going to be held back a little bit because we got to finish up a couple of things, get a few contracts signed, all that stuff. But the dates will be October 13th through the 17th. And as soon as we lock down all the details and the location, we will announce that to you. But that will be announced through our rvcommunity.com. But that's going to be so much fun too. I can guarantee if we get the area and the place that we're hoping for, you'll want to be on that one too. So those are our 5 major trips.
With lots of side trips and exploring in between. All told, we expect to be on the road or camping half to 3/4 of the year. And we already mentioned that one of our major goals or New Year's resolutions for our RV travel is not to be overscheduled. But we have 4 more.
4 more goals. Okay. I will say this for the record. We're going to eat better and healthier in 2025.
Can I get that in writing?
I just said it for the world, but yes, I'll sign the document. That means no more fast foods.
That means we're going to go hungry sometimes.
Yeah,
no more fast foods, as few processed foods as possible. And when we do eat out, have the fun of exploring a new area. We'll do our best to eat at local owned restaurants, not part of a chain.
Yeah, it really is. That is so much fun.
It is fun.
Local restaurants are where you learn about an area.
Mm-hmm.
All right, another goal is we're going to, if anything breaks on our RV, we're going to use mobile RV techs as much as possible. And we are going to stay away from big dealerships. Now, there may be times you have to go to one if it's a real emergency, but we have grown very distrustful of RV service shops in big corporate-owned RV dealerships. You know what we're talking about here. I don't have to mention names. We have heard so many horror stories about unnecessary parts being installed, ridiculously long repair times. And that's why we say that if you must use a dealer for repairs, try and pick one that's unconnected with a big corporate chain. In our experience, mobile RV techs have been extremely responsive, honest, very capable of repairing everything we've ever had to call them for.
Doing more spontaneous mini meetups with our friends and followers. When we know we'll be in an area for a length of time, we'll find a local spot and announce a time to meet up with whoever's nearby. These have been so much fun, and we've made good friends through this.
All right, our 5th 2025 RV lifestyle goal or resolution is to learn something new every day. For example, to look into the history of the places we visit, or maybe to learn a new skill, stargazing, plant identification, bird watching, something to do with first aid, RV, and maintenance of my truck. You get the idea.
Yeah, we'll read more, visit with the locals more, grow in knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. So that's our plans for 2025.
Yep. So what are yours? Please drop us a note or a comment at our personal email address, which is Mike and Jen at rvlifestyle.com. We would love to hear from you. All right, time for a break. And when we come back, we'll have the RV social media buzz with Wendy Boyer. Are you ready to embark on an unforgettable adventure in your RV? Our RV Lifestyle Travel Guide ebooks are your ultimate companions for exploring North America's most breathtaking destinations. They'll help you hit the road with confidence and make the most out of your RVing experience. We're Mike and Jennifer Wendland, and we are passionate explorers and the authors of an entire library of RV Travel Guide ebooks. We have meticulously put together detailed travel maps showing you the best routes, where to stay, what hidden gems to discover along the way. From the majestic Yellowstone National Park to the vibrant colors of Colorado, the awe-inspiring beauty of Utah, the enchanting deserts of Arizona, the tranquil Great Lakes region, the pristine wilderness of the Adirondacks. We've even done a captivating 3-part guide to RV travel and camping in Florida. No matter where your wanderlust takes you, we've got you covered. Our curated list of must-see attractions ensures that you won't miss out on any unforgettable experiences. You want to witness the eruption of Old Faithful? We've got you covered. Craving an epic road trip through breathtaking landscapes? We've got the perfect route for you. Dreaming of beachside camping under the stars? We know the best spots. With our ebooks available for instant download at rvlifestyle.com/books, you can have the knowledge you need right at your fingertips. Head over to rvlifestyle.com/books and start exploring the wonders of North America today. Unforgettable adventures are waiting.
Okay, now it's time for social media buzz. Wendy Boyer reports on the hot issues most talked about this past week on social media and our RV Lifestyle Community Group.
Hi everybody. Over in our RV Lifestyle Community's camping gear space, we recently asked what people had purchased that they anticipated really needing or being useful, and then it turned out it wasn't really very helpful at all. And you gotta love these sorts of questions because it helps you maybe decide what not to buy, because let's face it, there's a lot of things out there that look pretty cool. So what are some things that people shared? Well, Julio said they ended up not really using an outdoor dog bed that they purchased. Patty, she got some outdoor patio furniture, tiki torches, never really used them. Ari, he got cooking attachments for his solo stove. They use a solo stove, but they don't really cook over it. And Kathleen, she got one of those expensive trailer covers for her rig, but it turned out the cover attracted mice, so they don't really use it anymore. So that's just a couple of the things people shared, which I thought all of it was very helpful. But by far the biggest topic of conversation in the community this week has been the big changes that we're making. Today, Wednesday, January 1st, the group became a private members-only group. We did this for a number of reasons. You've probably been hearing us talk about it for a while now, but we really are anticipating greater connections and bonds among the community members. And to kind of launch it off with a big start, our camping meetup for April went live for the community members today, Wednesday, and we're going to Nashville in April, and it's going to be so much fun. People are signing up now, and we're going to be camping and having all types of great things planned with one another, from potlucks and rig tours and, of course, nightly campfires. We also plan time for people to have their own adventures. But by far, the thing that I'm most excited about is going with the whole group to the Grand Ole Opry, which is celebrating 100 years. So that is going to be super fun. And our meetup, camping meetup, that is live for the community only right now. So, woohoo! But we still have our RV Lifestyle Facebook group going as well, of course, and that's always busy. And one post I'd like to share with you that I hope can help someone was from Tara. Now, Tara, she showed a picture of a tire from her rig, and it was the treads of her tire. And one part of the tire treads were normal, really clear, crisp, and the other half of it were worn down, so there was almost like no treads there at all. So she took a picture of this, she shared it with the group, and she said, anyone know what could cause this? And, you know, there were some people who said, well, maybe you're overweight, well, maybe a bearing's loose, but by far most of the people said, you know what, you bent an axle and you need to get this seen by a professional right away. And people were so helpful, giving her some advice on what to do. And it sounded like a lot of other people had had similar things happen to them. I just wanted to share that in case you find yourself out there in such a situation. You're going to need to do more than just replace that tire. Make sure you check out that axle. And that's it for me this week. I'm Wendy Boyer, and I'll see you either in the community or on Facebook.
I thought that was so helpful when people share how they bought something that they thought they really needed, they wanted this, and then it wasn't all they thought it was going to be. That was helpful for all the rest of us who are thinking we need that same thing.
I know what you're thinking about with us.
I'm thinking about that cover and mice.
Oh, that was when we were going to do the... Well, when we added the blow-up skirting, yeah, that was...
yeah, mice really like it when you put up...
a wheel cover, yeah. You know, it's mice nests in our wheel covers.
I can just imagine covering the whole RV vehicle. They'd say, hey, condo complex.
Yep, that's the one. Well, you remembered it.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't forget it.
All right, let's get to the RV news of the week. There hasn't been much.
There's been very little news regarding the RV industry for the past 2 weeks, and that's because the industry basically shuts down from just before Christmas to the first week of January. Then everything is focused on the RV show season, and there are so many shows out there. Don't miss a show. That is just starting up again, and it's led by the hugely influential Florida RV show in Tampa, January 15th to the 19th. But there is a lot of news of interest regarding campgrounds that we want to share.
Okay, so if you're catching this podcast on the day we release it, which is January 1st, 2025, you still have some time, I hope, unless you listen to it way too late. There's still time to do a first day hike. This is such a cool thing. And we've watched this grow over our 14 years of doing the RV lifestyle. State parks across the country welcome in the new year by offering hikes in their popular First Day Hikes program. We'll put a link to it in the show notes for this episode. You can always find the show notes, by the way, at rvlifestyle.com/podcast. There are more than 1,000 different first day hikes going on January 1st. And that's coast to coast. You'll find one near you. Get outside and start the first day of the year with a hike.
Sounds great. And if you can't make it to one of those state parks for a hike, just get out there.
Hike. Find your own park. Yeah.
Get out there. Get going. Yeah. Okay, so the Grand Teton National Park will be 1 square mile larger than now that the Wyoming governor approved a plan to sell a parcel of state-owned land to the national parks for, get this, $100 million. The state has owned the land since before the national park was created and had been threatening to sell it to developers. I'm so grateful they didn't sell it to developers.
So Grand Teton, which is just a spectacular gorgeous park. It's very hard to find campsites there. Sometimes it gets really crowded. It's going to be a little easier with an extra mile of space. So glad that worked out, and they did not sell it to a developer. Wouldn't that have been horrible? Grand Teton and Yellowstone, they border each other, and wouldn't that be just horrible? It's just no development. That's great. We want to talk about a new campground that is pretty neat. This is built on 55 acres, managed by the Bureau of Land Management in Cedar Canyon, Utah. BLM management hopes that this campground is going to reduce damage caused by dispersed camping in the area. And that has been a huge problem, dispersed camping all across the area. And it seems to, I think, from our perspective, it's getting a little better now because people have experience with boondocking. But right after the COVID camping boom of 2021, there were so many new people that were just rushing out there, and they didn't know about leave no trace. They were pretty selfish. I think some of them have moved on and aren't camping anymore. Thank goodness for that. But I think others have learned how to be more responsible. But still, in places, like Cedar Canyon, Utah, where there's just some beautiful wilderness, there's been a lot of damage caused by dispersed camping. So building a big campground there is going to help. It's going to help.
I'm glad they're doing that because there were just too many people that haven't been raised properly to be respectful.
That's the truth. They haven't been raised
whether you
properly.
rent a hotel room or you're camping in the middle of the woods, clean up your mess. There's nobody there to clean up after you.
Yep.
Okay, so now we're moving on to El Capitan State Beach, right off California's Highway 101. It's set to close to campers for a year beginning in January. And the state is making a $5.5 million improvements to the campground, and is expected to stay open for day use only, but not for the camping until they get done.
So a year of disruption, but then it's $5.5 million is going to build a lot of improvements. And one more that we know is closed, and it's one of our favorites. It's one we usually get to. In fact, we'd be leaving probably today for that, and that would be their annual winter camp out that we've done for 11 years at Tequamanon Falls State Park at the Hemlock Campground there. The Hemlock Campground is also closed because they're doing some major renovations. And we're not going to be able to do that winter camp out, but next year will be a new campground there.
Yeah, last year we couldn't do it because they were doing the renovations. And weren't you just telling me they have something like 4 feet of snow?
They did. I don't know how much of it is melted with this warm spell we've had, but they had 4 feet between in a series of storms that just kept hammering in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Of course, up in the UP, that's nothing. 4 feet of snow. They'll move on.
Our Norwegian elk combo would have loved that. That's why we started going camping up in the Upper Peninsula, was so that our Norwegian elk hound, whoever we had at that time, could have fun in the snow.
He's seeing us packing the RV, and I don't know how much he knows, but he knows we're going camping, and usually we go camping, there isn't snow, and he starts to get a little disappointed. All right, we take a break. We come back with the questions of the week, and then the return of Mike and Jen's story time. Stay with us. When we're asked what's the most important modification we made to our RV, it's an easy answer. Battle-Born batteries. Battle-Born batteries are quality, safe, reliable lithium batteries that allow us to stay out there off the grid longer. Lithium batteries charge faster, they charge fuller, they're longer lasting, they're maintenance free, and Battle-Born batteries are protected by a 10-year guarantee. Now, in our case, they just dropped into the existing AGM batteries that we have, and they'll probably be the same on your rig too. Battle-Born battery experts can get those in your rig just like they did with ours. They can also match you up with the right cabling, the inverter, the charger, the solar controller, everything. Jennifer and I swear by our Battle-Born batteries. They allow us to boondock off the grid. Check them out. Go to rvlifestyle.com/lithium. rvlifestyle.com/lithium.
Welcome back, and now it's time for question of the week. We have a 2009 Tiffin with a sleep number bed. My husband's side of the bed decided it no longer wants to stay inflated.
Oh,
It has a pretty fast leak, and we can't find it.
ooh, that doesn't sound fun. Well,
No.
if your sleep number mattress is leaking air, the most likely cause is a leak, they say, at the hose connections where the air pump connects to the air chambers. And that's typically at the head of the bed. So take off the bed coverings and all that stuff and lift it up and check those connections for damage or loose fittings. So remove that mattress cover. You got to do that. And then you can look at the hoses and maybe the O-rings have been crooked or something. If that leak persists, it's you may have to repair that whole air chamber by finding where that leak is. And usually a spray of soapy water and then apply a patch kit if you find a place where the leak is, or contact Sleep Number customer service.
I think contacting Sleep Number service is a good idea. We had a Sleep Number bed for quite a few years.
Not in the RV. That was
Not in
our
the
home.
RV, in our home. And when they assembled that, I could not believe how simple it was. The
It
frame
really is,
and the
yeah.
little mattresses and everything. So it seems like you should be able to find this leak yourself. But I know that their service is good and they will help you.
If you do find it, send us a note back and we will pass that along to anybody else. Because if you're having that problem, chances are somebody else with a sleep number. There's a lot of sleep number beds in RVs. So that's good. So that's that. You got a question for us or comment, or you have experience with any of that stuff? We'd love to hear your comments. Mike and Jen at rvlifestyle.com. All right. Now it's time for Mike and Jen's story time. And
Gotcha.
This is a new feature that we are bringing back. We tried it a while ago and everybody said, well, we want to hear more stories. Well, we got a lot of stories and we have a very timely one for you right now.
As the world remembers Jimmy Carter, who died over the weekend at the age of 100, we have fond memories of a Jimmy Carter story of our own.
Now, we are suckers for small town festivals. So when we saw that Plains, Georgia, population 683, was holding its annual Peanut Festival a while back, and we were not far away because we were traveling through Georgia, we made our way there. Now, we ended up learning a lot about peanuts. Remember our goal for 2025 is we want to learn something new every day? Well, we did on that trip. We learned a lot about peanuts, but the highlight was spotting the 39th president of the United States, Jimmy Carter, who has remained up until his death the other day in his hometown of Plains. And despite his age, at that time well into his 90s, and undergoing chemo for cancer, we found him still out and about and meeting people.
We parked our RV a block off Main Street and made our way downtown, passing lawn signs from his neighbors saying, Jimmy Carter for cancer survivor. We were surprised to encounter the former president down at the train station, first presenting local kids awards for their artwork and a little later on, handing out medals to the winners of the Plains Peanut Festival Fun Run. And he was up there on stage, surrounded by a gaggle of little kids from Plains Elementary, smiling at them, admiring their artwork, and showing them off to a small crowd of mostly hometown neighbors, chatting and beaming as each child as if they were the most special child in the world.
So in the afternoon, after he was up on the train station, he made his way down to Billy Carter's gas station. Billy Carter was his kid brother. And there Jimmy was signing books that he wrote, like I think 28 books. And he was signing many of the books that he wrote down there. And the Billy Carter's gas station, his brother Billy Carter, if you remember, he was a very colorful guy. In the press, when they were in town, and the president would always go back to Plains, even from the White House when he was taking a break. And the press was always there, and they started talking to Billy, and he would speak his mind on the issues of the day, and he was drinking beer. And some local entrepreneur ended up saying, "Hey, we can do well with that." So they bottled some beer and named it Billy Beer, hoping to capitalize on his fame. Anyway, Billy passed on a long time ago, but just a few weeks before we encountered the former president at the Peanut Festival, he had announced that he had brain cancer. And if it was slowing him down, the day we encountered him, it sure wasn't obvious.
He was dressed in blue jeans, a blue work shirt, and wearing that broad grin that he was so famous for. And the former president greeted kids and adults and seemed to thoroughly enjoy his hometown's annual fall festival dedicated to the official state crop of the state of Georgia. That's right. We learned on that trip that peanuts, not peaches, are Georgia's official crop, and Plains is in the heart of the state's peanut belt.
Georgia, in fact, accounts for almost 47% of the peanut production in the U.S., over 1.2 million tons. And I bet the day we were there, they gave away about a ton of peanuts during the Plains Peanut Festival. We had boiled peanuts, a Southern delicacy, hot and spicy peanuts, Creole peanuts, deep fried is my favorite, deep fried salted red skin peanuts. I'm telling you, that is the best. And we had peanut ice cream.
Now, the Georgia Peanut Queen handed out free toasted peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the Plains Community Center. M&Ms, the peanuts M&M uses are Georgia peanuts roasted in nearby Albany, and assorted other peanut products that were given away.
We wandered outside, and there were vendors selling hats and trinkets and barbecue, homemade quilts, locally made arts and crafts. There was a late Saturday morning parade, and on Saturday night of the Peanut Festival, a street dance.
Now, the former president wasn't seen at the dance, and that was understandable. We were told he turned in early Saturday night. That's because come Sunday morning at 10 a.m. at Maranatha Baptist Church, just like he did every Sunday, cancer or not, even at his advanced age, Jimmy Carter, Bible in hand, would be up front teaching Sunday school.
Well, that is Mike and Jen's storytelling time for this episode. And we hope that you enjoyed it. And we've got more that we'll be adding to all of our podcasts going forward this year. Thanks, everybody, for listening and watching this podcast, and Happy New Year.
Happy trails.